In today's story, we're going to be going over a teenage story. It was a personal, scary, unusual, spooky story of mine. You guys are not going to want to miss this type of episode. This is unique in its own way and something I still can't explain to this day. So if you haven't already, if you liked the video, leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate the support greatly. Thank you, and please share. Guys, enjoy. I had a habit of when I was a teenager going on late night bike rides. And I'd always go on this local trail. It was about 0.60 miles from my house. This one day, I decided to go on this bike trail. It's in the back mountain area in Pennsylvania. And as I was going on this trail, it was just about getting dark. So I would go on this trail, I'd ride and ride and ride. I'd go about 4.6 miles in total, just on the trail. And it was a very unique trail because it had some beautiful scenery, but it was also kind of near a highway. So as I'm riding on this trail, going up this trail, you can see off to the right, it's pure woods and a mountainside. So it was definitely unique in that way. And on the left, it was a cliff that went down at a very steep decline. And actually below there used to be tracks there. So there was actually mine tracks on the left side of me. And on the right side, there was a mountain that actually also had tracks and even some bridges prior to the trail being built. So there was also this rock wall that was on the right with multi-layered. It was about 15 feet and then another 15 feet of rock wall with old pipes and holes sticking out of it. It was just very creepy and eerie in many senses. And so as I'm going up the trail, it was still a little light out, but you can tell the moon was certainly coming out shortly. So as we're going down the trail and we're getting closer to the waterfall, there's this really big, steep, spooky hill on my left. And anything can come off of there. Deer, bears, I mean, if you believe in them, you can see cryptids for sure coming down that hill. I certainly haven't, luckily. As you're going through, you can see there's a sewage plant on the left as you pass that steep hill. And then as you keep going, it goes in a decline over this waterfall area. And this waterfall area has a bridge. On the left, it goes down a decline again into an old sewage area. It's very spooky, dark, and slippery rocks. There's a lot of that there. And on the right, there's this beautiful rock waterfall. It is absolutely huge. It goes up about 300 feet. Now, it goes up in layers, but it is absolutely beautiful. As you keep going, it goes into a steep incline at that point. And you're going up this steep incline, and there's an open area. And I'm going through the open area. I'm really enjoying the bike ride. I'm seeing these cool breezes. But then on the right side, as I'm in this open area, it's the same layout as the other parts of the trail. But this time, I'm looking to my right, and I can see a figure standing up in there. And I'm like, hold on, what is this? And I just keep riding. I'm like, I'm ignoring this. I really don't want to get involved with this. I don't know what's going on here. Is it just my imagination playing out? And at this time, I was like 16, 17 years old. And I was really getting into biking at this point, at those parts of my teenage years. At that point, and especially at that time, it was in the summer. I will say that, and I will state that. But I lost about 100 pounds those past couple years. I lost a lot of weight swimming and stuff, and I was a heavy kid. So this was definitely a good experience for me, just kind of getting out in the outdoors, staying out of the heat too, especially since the sun was almost gone. There was a lot of humidity though. But as I'm going in this open area, and I go back into the other area, which is also very dark, and it's a spooky cylinder rusted water tank, and water comes out of the bottom, and it looks like a mouth, and someone put some really creepy eyes and stuff on it. It's just really spooky. Something was really eerie about that whole thing. But as you go past that, it gets darker and darker and darker because there's less road on the left side. It gets more woodsy. As I get to the end, there's actually a subway down this long stairwell. I didn't go down there, but I actually turned around at this point, and I started riding back, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do a little praying here, because I was starting to feel really creeped out, and I still had 2.5 miles to ride back down this hill because the trail is an incline going all the way, and then on the way back, it's a decline. At this time, I didn't have any light, mind you. I had no lights, I had no flashlights, nothing of those sorts. So I'm going back down the hill, and I get to the bridge point, and I'm flying at this point because it's a really steep decline right before you hit the bridge. And I go flying over it. And I keep going, and on my left side, I see a creature again. I can't make it out. All I can see is a shadow. And you can hear the cracking of branches and stuff. I'm like, what is that? What is that thing? What is going on here? It was just a very spooky, eerie situation. I wasn't comfortable. I was very uncomfortable as a person at that point. And we're going still, and it was only about a mile at this point before I actually hit the end of the trail. And right before I hit the end of the trail, guess what happens? Something from the tree above me whacks me in the face. As funny as that sounds now, when I was there, and I got hit really hard, mind you, something was trying to knock me out. It was very warm and fuzzy. But I didn't get pricked. There wasn't a porcupine, anything like that hanging out of the tree. And I don't know what type of thing in Northeast Pennsylvania would be hanging out of the tree that would hit me like that. Hanging out of a tree specifically on a vine on a tree. So not only did it have to support its weight, but it actually had to be there. Because as far as I know, I don't know any creatures that are intentionally hanging down, staring at me in the dark, that I can't see, that's willing to not move, seeing me coming down there. It's either I surprised it or it surprised me. I know for a fact that it surprised me, but I don't know if it even knew I was coming at that speed. I mean, I was going like 15, 20 miles an hour at that point down that trail. So I don't know what happened that night, but it spooked the hell out of me. Luckily it never happened again. And actually after that, I never rode my bike up there at night again. And a lot of people don't know this, but spiders will come down from trees at night. And, my last thought is, oh, it's a massive freaking 4-foot spider with one of its arms hanging down to hit me in the head. But whatever it was, it seemed like it tried to even knock me out. But it didn't, luckily, but it did hurt. It really hit me hard in the head. And I still don't know to this day what it was. And surprisingly as well, I had no pain after either, but I felt it. It hit me hard. I don't know if this thing was trying to knock me off the bike or it was just kind of in the way. But it's just really creepy that I've seen these two creatures kind of on the right sides of the path prior to this thing hanging down from the vine in front of me. It was just a very unusual experience. Something I really don't know what may have caused it or why it was even there in the first place. There's lots of questions I have about it. Why was it on this night? It had something to do with the moon cycles. Or was it really just simply there was some creature or animal hanging down from the tree? I probably will never know. But it was definitely an experience I wanted to share and put in a video for everyone to hear. So if you guys have any ideas on what that might be, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't already, leave a like. It helps the algorithm greatly as I'm trying to expand my channel and make this a full-time job. And definitely subscribe if you haven't, because I have more videos coming every Wednesday, Friday, and sometimes a special on Saturday. And, of course, have a great night. And if it's daytime where you are, have a great day. And be safe.